tanks. And before we get into the newspapers, let's talk about water tanks. You know the secret to real water storage? It's simple. If your tank doesn't have the tortoise on it, then it's not the correct tank. That's right. The tortoise tank, Syntex tank, is a champion of water tanks. It is strong and durable and built to handle our Ghanaian weather. So whether rain or shine, Syntex tank has got your back. So my people, go outside and check your tank. And if it doesn't have the tortoise on it, it's time to drop that tank. Join the Syntex tank family today and enjoy water storage that's tough like a tortoise. Call 0244 335 168 to either buy one now or find one of our 400 agents nationwide. You can also shop online at www.syntexgh.com. Syntex tank, a strong, a tough. Our guest joining us for the news review this morning, we have Mohammed Battaglia. He is the Member of Parliament for Sisala East, and Kofi Kapito is the CEO, Consumer Protection Agency, and he will join us later. But for now, we have the legislator for Sisala East, Mr. Battaglia. Good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning, sweetie. How are you doing?
I'm okay, thank you.
Good morning to my brother Kojo, my brothers who are making this possible.
I think, is it the first time we're meeting since that tragic incident happened on Wednesday last week?
Yeah, because funny enough, I was here on Tuesday.
Yes, the day before.
From here, I moved straight to Alhaji Lumuna's office.
Ah.
Oh, really?
Straight from here, I had some trouble. His office, then that of Minister of Agric. So I went to his office. He had a very busy day on Tuesday, yes, but he squeezed some time because, he was in charge of, the Deputy National Coordinator in charge of human security. They deal with issues that borders more on human security. We have to talk about infrastructure. For instance, I have very bad roads at my area, like Tumu towards Wuru. It raised human national security issues. I told you that most of my roads were washed away. That was towards the Burkina end. We had a place called Do, the bridge and all that. I went to him. We had a very nice discussion. He gave me, even actually minuted on the memos and all that. And as I'm talking to you, the team here are in Tumu, looking at measuring the roads and all that, trying to make sure how they could support. Only for me to wake up on Wednesday morning, hearing news that the man is passed on. Very sad moment that nobody wants, but that's life. Clearly, we've been hit hard as a nation. And sometimes, not sounding superstitious, but you are pushed to drift towards the angle of, they talk about confirmation biases, where you begin to find out, is it just perfect coincidence? Or it is something else? Because if you look at most things that happen, that would draw the nation into sorrow, normally would be on a Wednesday.
Oh.
The one will win the Wednesday. Pick it from the...
Was President Massa's on Wednesday?
No, that was on Tuesday. That was 24th, on Tuesday. But you could see that was out of one, like somebody was not well and died. That's fine. But anything that will bring about tragedy, talk about the May 9th tragedy.
Okay.
At the Accra Sports Stadium.
Was it on Wednesday?
That was on Wednesday. Talk about the
wasn't on weekend?
It was on weekend. It was on Wednesday.
Okay.
Check it. Go and check out June 3rd. That was on Wednesday.
You have actually thought this through.
Look at it. That was on Wednesday.
Yeah.
That was on Wednesday. This thing happened on Wednesday.
What does it mean to you?
Even the cargo plane that ran the runway and killed the 12 people, that was on Wednesday. So sometimes you begin to look at it. Why? That's why I started by saying I don't want to sound superstitious.
Yeah.
But it is building, pushing, triggering something that we call confirmation bias, that you begin to know, why is it that? There was a sad incident. I lost my granddaughter, and that happens to be the wife of my communication officer, Peter Babawi. That incident took the lives of over 10 people. That was between Kumasi and Uwa. That happened, the accident happened on Wednesday, killed people. She struggled, she fought the accident, but unfortunately she died the following day, exactly a week. That's on Wednesday again. So Wednesday has become a pattern. I can give you Pretoria, even at our area, what has been happening on Wednesday. So we should begin. And that's where I think that the spirituality should begin to look at it, whether we shouldn't be having major programs on Wednesdays or something.
I guess that's a conversation.
Yeah, we should begin to look at it from that way.
Maybe what's his name? The envoy for
obviously
interfaith and ecumenical. Can look at this.
Yeah, I am not. I'm by this not saying that things don't happen on other days.
Yeah.
But if you look at the pattern,
you are really taking your time to draw down this, because really, I'm not sure a lot of people have affected their
that's
minds
what I have looked at.
May 9th was Wednesday.
Wednesday.
June 3rd was Wednesday.
Yes.
This is August what?
August 5th.
August 6th was Wednesday.
Yeah.
And he has brought in the goddaughter who died through an accident.
And even the cargo plane that ran over there. That was on Wednesday. I initially even thought the Kintampo waterfall issue, but that happened on Sunday. So that's like an outline. So, but if you pick 5 big incidences, 4 of that happened on Wednesday.
You know, the Speaker of Parliament has been saying that we shouldn't dismiss the spiritual parts of these things. I know, I mean, we all agree to some extent that life is both physical and spiritual. That's the physical realm is a manifestation of what's happening.
Yeah.
But he's saying that we should not dismiss these things. And it's coming on the back of Elvis Ifeanyi's call that prophets should bring such prophecies that involve government officials. And, you know, the arguments pouring in is like, we keep saying that we are too prayerful and too religious, and instead of, you know, going out to work and make money and turn our fortunes around, we want to pray and ask God to, you know, rain manna on us, you know. And, you know, the speaker, this is not the first time the speaker is saying something like this. At the beginning of the year, he said something about exorcism, you know, in the chamber. I don't know if you guys remember. He said we should exercise something in the chamber when we're seeing the back and forth. Are we at the point where we can actually have this conversation? That there's actually a spiritual bit in terms of the fortunes of this country and how we can start to turn that around. To most people, it sounds like it's just a thing that we cannot lock in yet as a nation. You know, let's focus on what we can actually deal with, what we can see, what we can handle, the tangibles, rather than say that there's some spiritual. Yesterday, again, Kabila, James Kwabena Bonfe Jr. was saying that if we are walking right, I'm paraphrasing, in the face of the Lord and doing things according to his will and purposes for us, then we will not be experiencing tragedies like this. Is it not becoming a bit much, like the spiritual aspects or explanations we're giving to these incidents?
Well, you know, this everybody, I keep repeating this term, that there's always a background to something. All of us sitting here, no doubt, we all believe in one thing or the other. It is how you carry it that matters. Issues, people prophesizing this, and I do not want to go against it, but it is how we carry it. When prophecies become a threat to people's life, people can take advantage. At one point, you don't even know what to believe in. So our spirituality shouldn't be talking about us fearing death. Our spirituality should be talking about how good we are, our heart. I will say, I don't even want to engage in religious debates and all that. I've never wanted to do. But the point is that we should focus more on what the heart tells us. Do right. That's more important to me. But if I have a feeling about something, if God has shown something to me about you, irrespective of where you occupy, I should find a very diplomatic and a quiet manner to get you to know that. But once it has become like people take pride, people want to show that we are powerful, even more than the God you depend on, it becomes a problem. And I think that it's becoming so chaotic. So sometimes this directive, you all saw what started coming out. People were doing these videos and everything. TikTok is flooded with people telling that we said this. So that's why the government trying to, if you have it, please come so that we can. It's not that we know, pastors have been here for years. Some of them have been very difficult. They know what to do. They've been praying for people. They've talked to people, saved their life. Is that not? They've done that. But they wouldn't come out trying to get all the fame or even attract unsuspected people to run to them. We've seen issues happening in this country. At a point when people are in despair, they throw their hands up and then they run to whatever they think can save them, which in actual sense will extort them. That is the kind of a system we don't want to create. I believe that in the most scientific environment, like even the US, they believe strongly in God.
Well, they say in God we trust.
Exactly, they believe strongly in God. Even so, but their spirituality is based on what? Making good with the people, making sure that you live your life to make sure you create an impact. That's what is more. It's not the amount of times you go to mosque and yet you do the wrong things. It's not the amount of time you go to church yet you do the wrong thing. That's not what it is. But I think that the modus operandi of most of our clergies now go to look like more as a system of extortion or creating fear and panic so that people can run to you just to kill you. No, that's not what it should be. It should be very quiet. People advise people at different times. Even we, as very young as we are, people will call to tell you that you have to be careful. People will tell you that. Yeah, it is you. What do you believe in?
Thank you for that. It is about you.
Yeah.
And so maybe let's look at how we come back from this as a nation. How we can tie in the spiritual bit, the physical bit.
But how should we handle this so that even the things that we need to do, the corrective things that we need to put in place to ensure we minimize these incidents, we don't get derailed because we are thinking that, like you say, it could have some spiritual undertones? How must we handle this spiritual bit such that it won't let us take our eye off what needs to be done? Because yesterday on Top Story, we actually analyzed that there was a break in the national emergency response. That there is a...
It wasn't even activated. From what I gathered from the stakeholders you spoke to. Yeah. It wasn't even activated.
There's a certain manual as far back as 2008 telling us what needs to be done. And the steps, none of it, as you say, and rightly so, was even activated. So it means that we need to go back and make sure those things work. How do we then pair that with the spirituality such that what needs to be done, is done, and we don't take our eyes off that one?
Yeah. Clearly, you see, what disasters that happen in this country will at point always expose our weaknesses. That has always been the case. Let me even add up to what I was saying. The Malcolm collapse in Achimota also happened on Wednesday. it just clicked my mind.
Really?
It happened on Wednesday. Check it. It also happened on Wednesday.
Wow.
So you see that. So you see, normally, the easy thing to do is to hide behind the cloth of what? Spirituality. But I think that we have spoken about this time, that number, saying that we have to be proactive at all. But you can see clearly, most of the things we do as a people, we react. Even at the point that we think that we are ready, we are not actually ready. At a point, we can only showcase that we are ready, we are prepared, but something will happen and to expose our weaknesses. That's what because I think that we should begin to look at it and put people, there's a time that somebody should be responsible. Somebody should be responsible. People should be held accountable on what they're supposed to do.
On this bit, yesterday listening to Kojo's conversations on Top Story, it turns out that there is a long list of people or agencies who are supposed to, in fact, be the responders to this first responders to this incident. I heard there's Forestry Commission to help, to get to these difficult terrains because of where the crash happened. There's supposed to be the police holding off the area, which wasn't done. People had access, unfettered access to the scene. There's supposed to be the military to help, provide certain services. We haven't done all that. And like you rightly said, some of these incidents happen and they expose us. They expose the gaps in the way we do things. So, not to lay blame on any particular agency, but how do we begin to ensure that when these things happen, we can in fact activate whatever emergency response or protocol that exists? How do we ensure, how do we require these agencies to do the right thing?
I've said it before. That's what I was just saying. Whatever that happens just speaks volumes.
Yeah, but where do we can't just accept that this is what we do and this is how we are. And so
until we accept that. Sweetie, let me ask you. Here in Ghana, if you are going through the airport and they want to go through some rigorous checks about you, sometimes you get offended. You think that they are overdoing it. But the moment you step off the shores of this country and you move to the next country, without even asking you, you comply. Because somebody will be responsible. Somebody will be responsible. And that's what I'm saying. I think that we try as much as possible, first to identify who we are. Then when we accept it, then we can move forward. But we pretend. Once you pretend and begin to be like somebody, in actual sense that you are not changing from who you are. You are only trying to carry the cloth of somebody. Then it becomes a challenge. That is why we see this things. At every point in time, we'll come back here and talk about it. At every time, we'll come back here and talk about it. Because we take a step forward, then we move our 10 steps backwards. And that has always been. And sometimes we think we are so comfortable, we are so secure until something happens. Look at what happened here in Adanse. We can clearly see even the way and manner things have been handled. You can see that all of us are helpless. We are all helpless. Until you find yourself in that situation, you wouldn't appreciate what is going on. And that's always been the challenge. Yes.
Well, it's a good time to bring in Kofi Kapito into the conversation. He's the CEO of Consumer Protection Agency. Kofi, it's been a while. Good morning.
Yes.
I'm fabulous.
We're wet day, but we are surviving. It's a wet morning.
There's a professor in UCC watching us, and he sent in a message. Let me just share. He says, what the MP is saying is quite interesting. When my father was alive, may he so rest in peace, he never traveled on Wednesdays, which has become part of me. He saw Wednesdays as bad days to travel.
Yes.
So maybe we should begin to look into that.
I think we are all a product of our, set of beliefs, right? If you believe that Wednesday is a day that you should stay away from official, it will work for you. But I'm just trying not to let us sound as if we are completely marking Wednesday as a dark day or days not to. So that our audience understand that it is based on what you believe that will work for you.
But theories come out of situations.
Well,
Something will let you study and develop a theory. That's it. We study theories and we believe in theories because things happen. So theories will come. People can take it up and study it.
Okay, great call. So, Kofi, usually we give our guests some time to reflect on a national issue. And we haven't heard from you since the Wednesday's tragic helicopter crash incident. So let's start from there.
Not to be hard on you, but you were sounding like you're making excuses for our mistakes that, not to blame. We need to blame people. We need to blame people. Canada said, no. People are paid to do a job. I've always asked, when I was very active on television, I should bring the police, the fire, the ambulance, Professor Zakaria, all of them. And they talk like politicians. That annoys me. Even if you are trying to help them by bringing out their challenges, so that authorities will know they will be defended. And that annoys me about appointees and people who are given positions in Ghana. Call a spade, don't call it a digging fork. Okay, look. The first people that should have been on the scene was the police. Recording the place of. Right? The first person who made contact to the outside world that, something has happened. That call should have gone to, there used to be an easy number for the emergency lines now. Now every emergency person has a different number. In other places, America is 911, United Kingdom is 411. Why are we making 1-800 something in Ghana? It doesn't make any sense because we put square pegs in round holes. People are appointed just for the sake that they were affiliated with the party. They shouted the most. Whether their experience, their profession would even help them to do the job that they've given to, nobody even checks. I've seen, not just now, before, I've seen appointees that I asked myself, do you really think? Because you know the people personally. And it's not a place for them. And this is what we do to ourselves. Look, when I saw the body parts of our
fallen heroes,
this honorable men in Coco Sack, it took me back to when my nephew passed away.
Okay.
Here in Accra, police hospital. And this thing, you see, people think, oh, because of the emergency, I can probably assure you that they didn't have a body bag. Because police hospital here, my nephew died. They say they couldn't do the autopsy on him. So we need to take him from police hospital to Kolebu. I personally was there. At the police mortuary, they didn't have a body bag. Police hospital. This is about 6-7 years ago. What annoyed me the most about the whole Ghana police and the whole hierarchy, a sergeant who was on duty was doing private business selling body bags. I bought one from him.
Oh.
Police hospital. Then when you talk, somebody responsible Ghanaian, somebody who has given a position, not because he deserves it, because he belongs to a party, tells you what you are telling as a Ghanaian, that the man that you voted for promised to make your life better is failing, they get angry.
So let's do a comparison between the reality and what is ideal.
Which is the reality?
Right. So the ideal thing was the police should have been the first on the scene. Mm-hmm. But looking at where they went, and even from the videos we saw, how difficult it was to even get to the crash site. We have policemen over there, and these people who went to the sites were trying to help. They thought that maybe they could help put out the fire or something. For all you know, is that something terrible has happened. You are close to the site. You want to go and see what you can do. So I think that it's an information gap. People do not know exactly what to do in situations like that.
Human beings.
Well, you said we are sort of
hold on.
Not blaming people, and we should blame people.
Yeah, we should blame people, but you shouldn't blame the innocent person who felt his brother was in need, and he felt the human instinct in him should make him go and assist. I'm talking about the professionals here.
The police.
I'm talking about the professionals here.
Well, they are the first people. So let's make it a practical conversation.
Did you see when the boy was carrying did you see when the boy was carrying the sack? The policeman had a gun following him. There was fire service. That is when they even got there.
Okay. Yeah. So how they handled it when they got on the scene?
Yeah, the same. And then now they are pleading that people who took parts of the helicopter to bring it back for evidence. I mean, how irresponsible. Look, you see, this is our country. We do things top down. We do not even talk about this. Here, let an accident happen right now. See what will happen.
Kofi, that's what I'm saying.
No,
information gap.
It's not information gap. It's irresponsible.
Do Ghanaians know they have to first call the police?
Listen. If you don't put the number out, like I said, if you tell me that I should dial a 10-digit number to call for emergency, you are very, very irresponsible. That is why you should make the number easy. 3 maximum.
I thought we had 192.
What
happened?
Check the police crime when you see their cars. See the number on it. It's a fact. And then we make excuses. But the amount of money we spend in this country on things that are not possible. Yesterday I heard that they say my brother, Efri Ankra, has been given a portfolio that if you have a vision, these people, you should bring it to his office. Yeah. Is he going to run on?
He says he has the men to peruse those.
Well, are they going to run without any budget? Are they going to run without any budget? Is it necessary? Don't accidents happen in other countries? Do they call for some or we think we are the only religious people in the world? Do you know how Americans believe in the Lord, that even on their money, they say, in God we trust.
Okay.
Baba Kofi, is Sweetie all right when she says it could be a communication gap? Because even the people there, the people in the communication
gap between
did they know
who's responsible is to communicate. Who's responsible is to inform. When I was a little boy going to primary school here, we have a book called Courtesy for Boys and Girls. Right? We were brought properly as Ghanaians. In other jurisdictions, I'll be precise. In the United States, when you compare, they say you are comparing apples and oranges. Yes, I would. Because you are 60-something years old. You've taken more money than anybody. All right? Look, a dog will walk to a traffic stop with the traffic light. The dog will sit. Red light. When it's green, the dog will get up and walk. A dog. How many schools have you seen that in the morning?
You're comparing a developed country to a developing country.
And I will tell you that Ghana was developed before this nonsense of Ghana happening. Because when I was a kid, okay, I used to look at the time when the bus is coming. Because the bus will show up on time. Right? 12 o'clock, the post office alarm will go off for people to know that it's 12. Even back in the day, we were so smart that we needed to inform the people that it's 12 noon.
But that one you inherited it from the British
No,
system.
I'm just telling you that even back then, we had those systems. Here on the ring road, you early in the morning, you see a sweeping truck, the one that does this. And then they will sweep. Now you see elderly women. 5 o'clock, 5 a.m. in the morning, they are with a broom. When you used to have a truck, 50 years ago, and you are telling me we are comparing apples and oranges? My mother, do you know the reason why taxi was called service in Ghana? They provided services.
Yeah.
My mother will be getting ready and tell me, go and flag me a taxi. The taxi will come and wait for my mother. Ask Uber, wait for you now. You haven't seen anything. So when we tell you, say we are doing things that are wrong. Look, things has happened. Hold on, let me vent this morning. Yeah. Things has happened in Ghana. I like people giving excuses for things that could have been better. As a little kid, Boys Brigade in Kumasi, we went for an excursion to Takrady Harbour. We went with a train from Kumasi to Takrady. Kumasi to Takrady. When my mother was bringing me to Accra at the age of 11, we came in a sleeper.
Oh.
Yeah.
There was a train linking Kumasi
and Accra. You see, that's what I'm telling you, that you people, you don't know Jack. So when we talk, you say we are doing things. Accra, no, I'm just saying no. Yeah. You see, Ghana, Christian, Huni Valley, and all those places, the train will go there.
Yeah.
So to me, I expect by now, trains would have been every part of Ghana. Because the way we started at the age of 11, look at me now.
I just want to give another angle for your venting, right? At what point do you think things really went bad? Because from what you're saying, we were on a path of development, or you say we were developed at that time.
We were developing.
Developing. So at what point in the history do you think that we got that tailspin? That's as landed as where we are right now. When
the democracy process was truncated by military interventions.
Okay.
The military people could have done better, but they chose not to. Look, people talk about military intervention in Ghana. Everybody will tell you that the person who did the best was a champion. Why? Because he did common things for Ghanaians to see. The champion did Operation Feed Yourself. He changed us from Enifa without any blemish, not even one accident. Because, like you said, the information, the education was put in for a long time before it was initiated. Okay, 6 March, watch documentary, either by you people or any of those GBC or whatever, and look at Ghanaians. Even the way we dressed back in the day, when they put on even the clothes.
Yeah.
Look at it. And now you have girls who are showing their underwear. Boys who are showing, they wear 3 boxes.
This is modernity.
Modernity. Do you know what brought that? America, it was brought because people who went to jail were not given belts. So their pants were sagging. And then the rappers and the rappers took it. You see, we've lost it as a country. And until we admit that we did better and we can do better and give mediocre excuses.
We have to get into the papers, but tell me, so where do we start to change the narrative? So first you diagnose the problem.
It is leadership.
It was good.
It is leadership. It is leadership. Because if I had my way, believe me, I would arrest people in Ghana like I am chewing pork.
Hey.
Yeah. No, seriously, because you see, common sense, because the person was not taught. Why have we allowed traders and hawkers to hijack the sidewalk that you should walk on? That you are pushed to walk on the road and the car will knock you. And you have a mayor, you have a regional minister, you have MCs all over the place.
They fear losing.
Yes, they don't. Really? Look, this man, Vanderpoy, his own party people, when he was doing the decongestion, tell you said, "You power." Why you about you say, "Puha"? And I can mention the man's name. I was disappointed in him. He was on radio talking. The same thing. And before they will call you, stop. Last one was
the one who went into
Henry Cote. Even the latest one, the one that they started not too long ago. Go and see what is happening. I grew up in Okanshi. When I came from Kumasi, I lived in Okanshi.
Mr. Capito.
You know, so
yeah.
You see, and then what annoys me is these people who are put in charge, like he said, will travel outside and say, "Hey, Bronia Yadio, hey, the white man there is done well." The white man does well because he holds people accountable. Today, Donald Trump says that Washington, D.C. is a crime-infested city. So he's taking over.
Yeah.
He's brought military people into Washington, D.C. Then here somebody is misbehaving. You send the military, and the Ghanaians are saying that, there are special occasions that you need the military to come and clean house.
Well, I understand your particular, or how important it is for us to continue, listening to your issues and how you think we have failed ourselves as a nation. We have to get into the picture.
Can I ask him one question?
Yeah.
Mr. Capito, isn't this quite a peculiar issue? Looking at where this incident happened, we're told it was 2 hours on foot from the closest community. I mean, can't we isolate this to treat it different?
The Air India and all those places, the planes crashing on the that high mountain, what's it called? The one in India. That high mountain Kilimanjaro and everything. No, not Kilimanjaro is in Africa.
Malayan something.
Yes, something, yes. They still said search and rescue there.
Yeah, but
it is lack of planning, my brother. I'm not blaming.
No, I want to agree with you. And I don't think we are both wearing two different hats. For your position, I quite agree and I share with your sentiments. But I am also happy because you do not take yourself out. Because if you look at the history you gave, it meant that a generation trained you guys.
Sure.
Sorry. But you also couldn't train the people.
Sure.
I felt that you have created a disconnect. Because I think that now we should be to target. You've been targeting the adult for far too long. But I think that this is a time for you to channel this into the young ones so that we can model their minds to begin to understand.
When your child does not even speak your language, what do you hold on.
You see?
When your child
yes.
does not even speak your language, okay? Because let me tell you what, my son, the mother...
Let him finish his point and then I'll come back to
Let me finish the point. You see, language is very important. Which is identity. Last time we spoke about it here. But I'm just talking about who we are. And you asked the question about where the disconnect is.
We are Ghanaians.
Very good. But are we really Ghanaians? That's what you are saying. Because if I want to make that argument common, I can say you and me are what, because you are wearing suit, I'm wearing jalabia. That's not who Ghanaians are.
Jalabia is not even Ghana.
That's what I'm talking about suit.
I'm just telling you, jalabia is not Ghana.
I'm just saying that.
Jalabia is not Ghana.
Did you hear what I said?
You say you are wearing jalabia.
Let's
I'm just saying that you and me, if you listen to me, you will understand what I'm trying to say, Kofi. I'm saying that the two of us here do not actually represent Ghana. That's what I'm saying. You are wearing
if you
the
want to make a simplistic
argument on that. That's what I'm trying to say. So you are wearing, even a code of our dress is different. As much as I'm not a Ghana, I'm not representing the Ghana per my dress, you equally not doing same. But we are preaching the values of Ghana. That's what I'm trying to say. But I think that we agree, people should be held responsible. And issues about serious countries, when it comes to security matters and people's life safety, people consider first impossibilities first before they begin to look at the possibilities. That's not what we do here. All we give is excuses. We have even, the last time I came here, I did mention that things happen and it also exposes the kind of education we have. I said it here. Clearly, to be honest with you, people are masters in geography. They've gotten all the first classes in geography. But even if you ask them the topography of their own environment, they don't even know. Practically, they don't know. Let me repeat one thing again. We used to have a tutor at the training college, called Andrews Kamenga. He's a Danish man. He said his observation in Ghana, when he came for the past 2 years, the 2 years he stayed, every morning he went to the primary school, basic schools, to observe children. They are made to place their arm on their chest and say, I promise on my honor.
The pledge.
The pledge. Yes. And he said that he saw the children saying that he's tempted to believe that the adults who are acting today against Ghana also said the same thing. So we say one thing and act differently. And that has been the challenge. And I think before Mr. Capito came in, that was the issues I raised. And begin to listen that we should begin to pick issues as they are. But if the target is about the top people and we are getting it wrong, is it possible for all of us to sit down, pause and reflect and rechannel? For instance, if my child is not speaking, how will you be able to take up that kind of sentiments of inferior complex? Yesterday, the speaker said it, that I think with the biennial 11th conference they had yesterday regarding Hansard in the African Commonwealth, he said that we cannot, most of the countries that develop based on their indigenous languages. We cannot be seeking to develop as a country when we cannot even speak our first languages. That's what he said. And I think computer is emphasizing on that. That's a very good point. But we all have a role to play. Today, like this, we came here, all of us are sad because something happened. But what if tomorrow something happened and become nice again? We forget about what happened and we move on as a people until we are struck again and we cannot breathe. Then we come back to the same point. But I have seen the consistency of Mr. Capito. But what I'm trying to say is that, yes, it is time for us to target the right people looking into the future who also come and build a society that will reflect who we are. Until we set that basis, we will only be complaining. And also, let me make this point, yes. The issue is not just about the politician. The politician do not fall from manna. The politician, as a matter of fact, reflects the behavior of a Ghanaian in the most cases, because they do not come from different places. No, they come from the same Ghana that they lead. And also the leadership, politicians are just a group of people, but the majority of Ghanaians who act behave worse than the politician. And he spoke about competence, that I agree. If some people that, if you read their CVs, you think that they are best to lead this country. But in actual sense, CVs and what you attain sometimes varies with what you do in practice. So that's what we should begin to know. Okay. And we understand that. But I trust that this is a time for us once again to call ourselves and to be able to prick up and tell us that we need to do something right to save us. This is even in the bush. Okay. Things happen in Accra here, in the capital city, yet we are helpless. You can imagine what happened there.
Yeah, Mr. Capito, there's something Mr. Battaglia said that I want to put to you. He's saying that, and I want to restructure it. So the greatest generation, 1901 to 1927, gave rise to the silent generation. Those are the people trying to build after World War II. And then came the baby boomers. Are you part of the baby boomers? No. You're above that. So the baby boomers.
I'm after the baby boomers.
You're after us. Okay, that is the Generation X.
Yes. No, Generation X. I am not Generation X. I'm not.
It's okay. Let me just make my point.
I'm also not Generation X.
Okay. So I'm saying that Generation X is a result of baby boomers, their ideologies, how they did life, and whatever they, nurtured you with. That is the results you got. Now, Generation X gave birth to the millennials. And the millennials gave birth to the Gen Zs. Now, you're saying that at some point, there was a disconnect. Can you take some blame or responsibility that generation, the way they did their things, the way they handled nation building, development, is as a result, what we are seeing right now is the results we are reaping from the way they handle things. We cannot just blame our leaders.
You see, even in your house, as a mother, if you don't train your child well, you have to be blamed. You can't come and blame me.
You as an individual.
Even as society. Even as society. Yeah. If you don't discipline your child, or if I don't discipline my child.
Mr. Capito, we are a communal society.
Oh, let me. You see, My son's mother is an American. I'm a Ghanaian. When I was back in Maryland, when the son is with his mother, because I spoke Asante with my child when he's with me. If that's something that the mother will call me and say, tell him in your language, that is more serious for him to understand. Because even the mother even knows that when I say, hey, even my expressions will tell her that I mean something. You get my point? Yes. Every generation hopes to do better than the one before. That is what we have failed. Generation X, what are they doing? You are the ones doing all this internet and...
No, that's Gen Z.
Gen Z, yes.
Generation X came before millennials.
Gen Z. Gen Z are the ones who are doing all this app and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Me, if you give me your phone, it will be difficult for me to do certain things that you can do it on it. But that is what it's supposed to be. The next generation does better. Okay. But in this part of the world, the generations that are coming after, look, in politics.
Unfortunately, our time is running out, so we have to get into it. I have the overseer. On the front page, a rare comrade, Okai Minta mourns Muntale's bravery, intellect, and integrity. Eco-Securities and Energy Quest partner to boost electric mobility across Africa. Reviewing prophecies is biblical, not a threat to religious freedom. I think that was taken from the interview we had with him yesterday on the AM show. And on the New Republic, $100 million Game Boys charged in US, set to lose everything and face life in jail. And on the prophecy Bruhaha, clergy clash over new prophecy directive. He said it was not a directive, it's just a suggestion that he made. So it's not a directive coming from the presidency. And financial stocks poised for bullish rebound, analysts project. And GBC workers give, quote, retired DG 10-day ultimatum to vacate office. Kojo, what papers do you have?
I have the Daily Graphic. It says, prophecies. Christian leaders urge caution. Asante Hima Nana Kunedo Yadom dies at 98, 1 week observance on August 21. Shelter Afrique ordered to pay Blue Rose for breaches. And forensic testing, Ghana's DNA profiling capability limited, according to a lab scientist. Those are the stories I have on the front page of the graphic. But at the back page, it says that Tuabo gas plant to shut down for 2 weeks. Move won't affect power supply, according to the ministry. And 2 foreigners jailed for human trafficking, 3 for fraudulent acquisition of passports. Okay, so let's get into any of the stories that piques your interest. Mr. Batagla, what's on your front page?
My front page is about where the Ghanaian Times, so it's Asante Hima passes on. And we have government invites tributes for victims ahead of what Friday's return. That's the back.
Okay. Kofi, what do you have?
Sorry,
hold on.
We have government committed to strengthening social protection systems. Gender Minister.
Okay.
The BNFT, which is a Business and Financial Times, is ring-fence legacy debt to protect banks' capital, Dr. Etiangini. BOG leveraging gold to hedge debt risk, restore confidence. Gold fails plans long-term stay to boost local investment. And then digital CD could be pegged to gold, cocoa reserves. That is the front page of the BFT. The back page, businesses get roadmap for effective ESG reporting. West Mills Mall launches electrifying shopping experience, I guess maybe for the new holidays.
Right. But if you have a story, but I would do want us to get a bite on this NPP's withdrawal from the, what's it called? The Tamale Central by-election. And I'm wondering, is the NDC going to follow that same cue and leave the Akwetia by-election for the NPP? Is that a conversation you've even had? Yes.
No, but you see, as much as we all know the times in which we are, politicians will always make decisions that will inure to their benefit. Even though it might sound naturalistic, but they also did some analysis. NDC, as a party, will come out with a decision. And clearly, as it stands now, we've gotten our parliamentary candidate to contest, as indicated by Electoral Commission on the 2nd of September. as to what will happen, that will not be dependent on the actions taken by NPP. NPP have analyzed the situation. If you go right from 92 up to now, I don't think that they've been able to win that seat. And even the last election, Muntala Mohammed, may his soul rest in perfect peace, won by 75%. And if you go to Akutia, the story is not the same.
So you despise their, or you?
Yeah, it's not the same.
So you're not giving it to the reasons they gave that. I mean, to honor the memory of the man. They feel that
I say politicians will analyze situations and take a decision and try to cajole, but that's not what I'm. But I'm just telling you that if you go to Akutia, NDC held the seat for 4 times as against 4 for NPP. That's what it is. And even not deciding to contest as a party, it's not a novelty. It has started a long time ago. Just so NDC didn't go, there are many other places NDC didn't contest because of one reason or the other. So for that particular, we are all grieving. The nation is mourning. But as the subtle political decisions, we also understand them and we play according to that. Where you will come out and you are suggesting that you should go same, it means that you are doing more of a bargain than really actually consoling the situation. That's what it is. And I don't think that Ghanaians should be cajoled to that point. No, we think that allow NDC, whenever we decide to contest, we will contest. But what is important is that go into an election that will not, I don't see even why this should even be because. So
you hold for us. I'll come back then you can. Okay. Let's bring in Henry Nanabuachi, who's the national of the NPP. Yeah. Henry, grateful to you for joining us here. I mean, if you listen to the analysis that has come on the back of your pronouncement, people say, you know that obviously that is not your stronghold. So you are just avoiding a defeat that you would have gotten anyway if you participated.
Good morning. I think those who are advancing such a narrative should also be mindful of the fact that, and I'm going to give you 3 scenarios or 3 examples. Number 1 is Abuakwa North. We lost our Member of Parliament, sadly, Honorable J.B. Dankwa. And that seat, the NDC has never come close to that seat. They've never won it before. Yet, at the point when there was going to be a by-elections there, they exempted themselves from that by-election. The reasons they gave was because the nation was mourning and the circumstances surrounding the death of Honorable J.B. Dankwa clearly will not sit with their conscience. So they did not contest. Now, if you go to Kumewu, Honorable Baswa died. The NDC has never won the Kumewu seat before, yet they fielded a candidate. Then let's travel to Ajuso. Ajuso too is the stronghold of the New Patriotic Party. We lost our former MP, Honorable John Kuma. And the NDC took a similar position as in the Abuakwa North by-election. They exempted themselves from that, citing national cohesion and then all of that. So they did not partake in that election as well. So I think those who are pushing that narrative that, yes, it is not a stronghold, it is true. But look, we could have also taken a political decision that we'll go in there to energize our base. We'll go in there to put in a fight. Although we know that we might not win, it will energize our base there. Right. So I've given you 3 examples. So I do not think that that narrative would hold. But what is important is that the nation is mourning. This was a young Honorable Dr. Mutala who was on his way to execute a mandate on behalf of the government. Tragic, he lost his life through this helicopter crash. In fact, for us, Patriotic Party, it is not for the NDC. This is not a matter for the NDC alone. It is also a matter for the New Patriotic Party as well. If you go to Obuasi, the young man who died there, Samuel Abuaji, who was the NDC's parliamentary candidate and also newly appointed Deputy Director General for NADU, he is the direct younger, one mother, one father of Nana Kwame Abuaji, who is the NPP's regional organizer in Savannah region. Direct brother. So it is not only for the NDC. It's a matter for the NPP and the NDC. So if we decided that, and we considered a number of things, the mood in the country, all of us have come together, and clearly the Constitution is quite profound on by-elections. There is a stipulated time in the Constitution for that. So our position is that, given the circumstances we find ourselves, given how the entire country is in a state of shock, in a state of mourning, we do not think that it is proper for us to go to the backyard of Honorable Dr. Mutala, go through our internal primaries, select a candidate, and then put up a competitive fight for the seat. We do not think so.
Are you hoping that the NDC will repeat same for you in the Akotia by-election?
To be fair, that decision is entirely within the bosom of the leadership of the NDC. But I've heard, yesterday, I think even on your network, Asampa, I heard Obi and Omaihene making such or pushing such proposition that, look, we need a certain calmness in the country. The entire country is in shock. They even push the angle that, look, Akwatia is an eastern region. NDC, you've lost 5 big, important personalities. Dr. Edward Omanebwama is from eastern region. So I've heard people mentioning that, look, this is not a time for us to go into such competitive elections. Given the circumstance, they can also do the same. But that is entirely their decision, frankly speaking. And nothing, if they decide to go on, they will not be infringing any law whatsoever. So that is entirely their decision. Our decision is that we do not intend to contest Tamale Central seat.
How is this different from the by-elections the NPP has contested in when the certain MPs had lost their lives?
Oh, yes. You see, that is why we are saying that the circumstances surrounding and how it has thrown the entire nation into a state of mourning. Right? So, yes, there have been instances where we've contested or we've gone into a by-election on the back of the sitting MP personal. We've done so. But that is why in our statement we captured it. We said, look, we've considered this, and again, it's not going to be the first time. There have been precedents. That is why I give you almost about 3 instances where 2 of them, the NDC decided not to contest. On one other occasion, they said they will contest. Look, this is not the time. We are all mourning. We are in a state of shock. There was a tragic, a devastating moment for us, so we do not intend to take part.
Okay.
Stay on the line with us, Nana Boakye. We want to get the response from Mr. Battaglia and then come back to you. Because he was the one actually explaining that politicians will take their own decision and try to explain it for the public. I think everything is more political.
Yes, political. That's what I'm trying to say. I say that politicians will always take decisions that will inure to their benefit. They won't do anything that will affect them. For me, sitting from afar, now if you ask me, the NPP is confronted with two things. One, internal issues about what? Not being able to cohese or like unity. Number two, we talk about what? External. When we talk about clearly the issues about what? Goodwill. That is a bit down. So for instance, whatever action they will take, we want to portray that, yes, let's be able to get the goodwill of Ghanaian. That is fine.
But if it was goodwill, would they contest the Akwatia election? But if indeed you are saying that they have lost goodwill.
No, but they are coming from the background. That's what they're actually doing. That's what they're actually doing. Because, for instance, he made mention of Kumewu, where NDC knew that they were going to lose. But prior to Kumewu, there was also a conversation going on that NDC couldn't even collect their own resource as a 2020 elections. And that was hitting NDC too hard. Most of NDC were going. So NDC used Kumewu to test their resilience into going to what? Asin-North. And Asin-North, you saw what happened. So Kumewu, with the marginal increment in the Kumewu resource from NDC, gave the indication that, yes, this party is ready for power. You get it? So the same way, they've looked at issues. They've looked at them. They've done it. This is Henry knows very well that they've sat down, they've done it, they've looked at, okay, fine. Go in there, we can go and contest. But we will gain more. People will see that, yes, we are acting more humanly, we are looking at, we're taking the, when we don't even go to contest.
Is that to your advantage or disadvantage?
No, I don't think it's to our disadvantage in any way. The point I'm making is that, sweetie, we should get to a point where that elections shouldn't be that violent. That should be the ultimate aim. It doesn't matter whether somebody passes on or not. At every election, whether living or dead, people should be able to go there, cast their vote, and come back home without any disunity in this country. But
do you consider this decision as some show of goodwill or faith from your opposition?
I think I started from that note by saying that it gives a clear... The fact that they didn't even go to have a primaries at Akwatia gave an indication of how they are prepared for the election, because it's all about party cohesion, party unity, and all that. Now they are going to, okay, fine, we've looked at the indices. Right from 92, there's no chance for us. Instead of going there to create another noise and another, why don't we set back? Maybe we will see. And I think that we thank them for that. But it doesn't also mean that it should be a bargain with NDC. But like I also say this, believing that I am not the ultimate decider of NDC decisions. The party is there, led by our leaders. They will come out what they want to do. But already, I think as it stands now, if I have the belief that we'll be going to contest that election until the party says otherwise. But we thank them for the decision being taken. We thank them for the honor given to our heroes who have lost their life in the course of duty. And it's painful. But I think that all of us who are living, this should be an example. When we do elections while living, it should be peaceful, for nobody should lose their life based on election again. All right. I think so.
So, Nana Boakye, this is what Mr. Battaglia is saying, that he hears what you're saying, but he believes that it's just politics at play. And you've done your own assessments, and you know that it's to your disadvantage if you actually contest the Tamale Central by-election. Your quick response to that, and then we'll let you go.
Listening to him now, I do not get the impression, how you framed your question. Listening to him, I get the impression that, yes, we took that decision. For us, it is a good decision. They will also consider, because they have leaders. That is the impression I get from his submission. But let me say that I hold a certain general principle, and I'm hoping that those who are in charge of the constitutional amendment, and I know that some people have also sent such proposals to them. When we go for a general elections, it's for 4 years. I'm hoping that someday in the near future, we'll go for a general elections, elect parliamentary or MPs, member of parliament, and within the 4 years, if anything at all should happen, so for instance, if the person resigns or if the person dies, as we've seen in most cases, it is a principle I hold that the party that is holding on to that seat in parliament should have an internal selection processes to select a person amongst them so that that person will be presented to Parliament, and then Parliament will swear that person in to continue with the unexpired term of the member of Parliament who passed. So that when we have a general elections, that one is free, then all of us can go in again and then compete as we have always been doing. It reduces the tension we've had and all the violence associated to by-elections. It again would give us some comfort with the public purse. Why? Because as we speak, the Electoral Commission is preparing to go to Akwatia. Clearly, there will be some logistical needs. There will be some administrative expenses. There will be some operational expenses. And that will go straight to the consolidated fund. And that is going to hurt us. We could have used that funds for something else. So I think that all of us should push for this angle. That look, we've had by-elections, and if we are talking about elections-related violence, most of these unfortunate incidents usually is linked to by-elections. Talk of Ayawaso by-election, talk of Kalensi, even Akwatia. We've had by-elections there, and it was messy. So that is the general position I hold. And I think that all of us push so that it can reduce the pressure we have on our public affairs. It can reduce the tension and all of these elections-related violence that we've been witnessing. But for Tamale Central, we took this decision in the interest of the country. In the interest of the country. And again, all of us, we are mourning. Once again, if the NDC will replicate that decision is left to them. But I think that there should be that level of calmness. It looks like within this period, all of us should be sober. We should be calm. And then as a nation, we can come together for once.
This decision is coming on the back of what the party decided in relation to the Ablekuma North by-election, or the rerun of some polling stations. The party's position was that you won't contest, but your candidate contested. What measures is the party putting in place to ensure that even though the party says we won't go, we won't find someone coming from your flock to then contest that particular election as an independent candidate?
Okay, so first of all, my sister, Akwatia, has already apologized to National Council for her actions. But that scenario is a bit different. That the rerun of the 19 police stations, that particular elections was conducted by the Electoral Commission on the back of the general elections, because for me, I see it as a continuation of the elections. They've gone through the elections. They had some skirmishes or some problems in some few polling stations. The initial position was that collate and declare 3 polling stations. Officially, that is what the Electoral Commission communicated to us. Then overnight, it turned out to be 19 polling stations. So you still, at the point, we still had Akwafia's image on the ballot paper because it was a continuation of the bigger elections being conducted by the Electoral Commission. So we already had our candidate. Akwafi was there. So clearly, that election is entirely different from a by-election where you are now going to start from the scratch to look for your candidate. You have to open for nomination, or even if you have to do some consensus building to get a candidate, you go through an entirely different processes to get a candidate. Then the Electoral Commission will also come, open nomination, close nomination, and then go through all the processes. So that for me is different. But what happened the last time was unfortunate. And the Honorable Akwafi, as I said, appeared before National Council and apologized for her actions.
Thank you. Henry Nanabuache there, national organizer for the NPP. And Mr. Kapito, I want you to get a bite on this conversation. So the NPP came out to say that they are not contesting. You've listened to Mr. Battaglia. Dr. Payne, what's on your mind in terms of the arguments coming?
Not a politician. The only thing I like about what you were saying that look at this, whether constitutionally review and see how we can save the public purse of this overspending on these things. The question is this the norm? Is this the standard? But if we Ghanaians, if we accept it, then it will be part of us as we move forward. I see the reason why all these things is going on is because we've made politics or elections or parliamentarians going to parliament too attractive. It's become too attractive. That's the reason why. That's why people are going through the extent that some of them go through. Okay, it should not be so. It should be a battle of ideas, as Battaglia said.
Battaglia.
Yeah, Battaglia said that. Yes, it shouldn't be a fight.
No,
don't kill one another. Fine, but what happened? Look, I was around in 1992 when we started to do this fourth Republic thing. Yes, look, in 1992, NPP even boycotted the elections. Okay, there was no money involved in elections in 1992. Then 2000 comes, no, 1996. NPP were even struggling to get people to come and represent them. So the party was actually paying people.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it wasn't that attractive.
96?
96. Okay, because nobody was really using money to entice anybody. Then all of a sudden, 2000 comes. Then both sides realized that we need to use money. So the money thing started, whereby, there's nothing wrong in passing people, okay, so that they go and vote for you, making sure that they have their documentations and everything, okay. But to tell me that even within the parties, you go and kidnap the delegates so that your opponents will not have access to them. It is an illegality. And we've sat in this country and watched it going on every election time. So if this will solve some of these acrimonies, I'm for it. Let's go for it. But politics, I decided not to go into it because I was even told that I'll be given a discount on the bribe. Yeah. I was told that as for you, we like you. Don't worry, we won't charge you as you are charging the other people. We'll give you a discount.
We have to spend more time with Mr. Kapito. I like the history that you're giving.
Yeah, the history.
But so when I go,
can we let him wrap up? I think he's giving some.
I thought he landed on that point. Please finish.
So until we the Ghanaians who also want these people to come and lead us, this is where there's the difference once they get into power and they leave you here and you are crying. I've been involved in elections before. I was a campaign manager for Mr. Stephen Team for the chairmanship. Okay.
The one you won or the one?
The one before and the one after I doubt you won, I was involved.
Okay.
But the issue is, why are we making delegates? We see on television, you people go and abide. Somebody will be telling you that I have collected from Honorable Battaglia.
Yeah.
Okay, that I'm waiting for Kwame. If Kwame doesn't bring his, we won't vote. And we laugh about it. These people are actually doing what is called buying votes.
Yeah.
And we sit and we laugh because it favors the two of them. Okay, people, and then the people also come and cry. If you go to any constituency and you ask the delegates, have you seen Honorable? Oh, Honorable, meanwhile, the Honorable left the constituency Monday morning to come back to Accra. Why are they saying it's Honorable Mao? Honorable didn't give the money.
Thank you, Mr. Kapito. So Dr. Kiamwako is from the NPP Communications Directorate and she joins us via Zoom. She was actually supposed to be in studio for the news review. And Doc, I know you've been following the conversation since we started. It's time for us to hear your take on the matter. There's the issue of how we handled the helicopter crash, contaminating the site and all that. Then there's also that NPP pulling out of the Tamale Central by-election race. Let's hear your thoughts for us now.
Hi, good morning to you, sweetie, and good morning to everyone there. I can see my brother, Honorable Batalia, there, and I can see Kojo as well. Good morning to Mr. Potterfi as well. So I've been following the conversation. I think a lot has already been said with regards to the two issues. Firstly, on the helicopter crash, I would like to extend our deepest condolences to the bereaved family, to the NDC, to my friend Honorable Batalia. I know if I was sitting there, we would have some serious banter going on, but this morning we are still grieving and mourning with them. As our national organizer Nana B said, this is an issue that hit close to both of us because, as colleagues working together, we build relationships that go beyond work. And some of us indeed have some personal connections to some of the bereaved. So our thoughts and prayers are with their families. And as we've already demonstrated as a party, we would always be there to support them in the arrangements that go into it. With the handling of the whole situation, it's one of the main issues I had with everything. But again, this is the only time that I'm going to deliberately try and be very easy on the government because I understand that it's a very difficult time for everybody. But I think it's the general consensus has been that this whole thing could have been handled better. Because again, even for me, those are not the last pictures I want in my head with regards to a lot of the people there. That's not the last way I want to have seen Dr. Omane Boamah, and especially as the minister for that sector, where he has the military and everything under his control. And indeed, he was flying on a military helicopter. I would have expected that the army would have taken control of that scene to make sure that the scene was handled with more dignity. I think that's all I would want to say that. But hopefully we can learn from this and manage these things going on better. And especially from the media, I don't think I was really paying attention to Joy News, but I hope at least you didn't show us those images. Because, it gets to a point where there are things that are happening, but it's not everything that the people need to see. I think that was the only area where there was a lapse. But indeed, it's a great tragedy, and this is the time for us to grieve. After we grieve, we are going to ask some very serious questions because we need to make sure that this doesn't happen again. If it was preventable, what can we put in place to make sure that it doesn't repeat? So I'll leave that there. Okay. On the matter of Tamale Central and Akwetia, I don't really expect the NDC to pull out of Akwetia, and as Nana B said, we didn't do it hoping that they would pull out of Akwetia or anything like that. It was just out of respect for everything that has happened, and with our need to make sure that we do not cause any, we don't create a situation for any friction, especially around the deaths of Honorable Murtala Mohammed, because indeed he was a great colleague to most of us. So it was just a matter of respect in that light. If the NDC sees it fit to reciprocate, that's fine. But if not, we are ready for Akwetia, and in fact, we might enjoy the competition there. So to Honorable Battalion, I'm sure we'll meet there. So I think that's about it.
Dr. Kiamo Akule, thank you. Communications team member for the NPP, and the second guest is actually Kofi Kapito, and he's the CEO of Consumer Protection Agency. Gentlemen, we've come to the end of the news review, and we want to get your final remarks for us before we go. Unfortunately, we didn't have any interesting stories from the papers, but I think it's been a good conversation.
What I would like to say is, let's go back of being Ghanaian and stop being NPP and NDC. That is a problem in Ghana now. We become NDC and NPP and no more Ghanaians. And that is what I don't get it. When Honorable goes to, is it Tamale,
Sisala
East.
Yeah,
Tumu, and he's doing campaign. He doesn't tell the people that vote for me when I come, I only do things for NDC.
For the NDC people, yeah.
But the saddest thing is, when he goes back to the constituency, and that's what all of them do, the moment they get there, they call their youth organizer, chairman, the woman organizer, and a few party members. And these are the people that they do the consultations with. They don't do the consultation with the whole people. And that is a problem, because when you promise, as you are campaigning, I expect you to come back and do a debate and tell the people there that in Parliament, this is the bill that we are going to pass.
Yeah.
I want to get you, because you sent me there. And it's about representational. And that is what we've lost. It's not about your individual thing, but it's about because the people who took you there can take you out. Oh. And until we start respecting, and until we, the voters, also start respecting ourselves and stop taking 50 Ghana and 6 yards of cloth and then butter and all those things, they will not respect us.
Okay. Thank you. Mr. Bataglia, have the final word.
Yeah, sure. We should thank you. I think I'll thank my sister, Dr. Mwakutu. I think always, she has always exhibited a human part, even when we meet and there are difficult issues to deal with. This morning, from here, like I was just telling my brother Kojo that we'll be traveling to Tamale. Today will be the final funeral for Honorable Muntaka. You know, he's such a wonderful person that we lost. And the Muslim tradition, we need to do some prayer for him. So we are hoping to be there. I would say that Mr. Capito brought a point. Yes, that's what it is. But the individual also understand your background. I keep saying this. You are a leader for the constituency, not just for your party. We have said that. When you go, you might have different meetings. And you can have partisan political meetings, but you can also have developmental focus meetings. That will focus on one unity of purpose, where you have to deal with departmental head, the chiefs, and other people who are apolitical. And I think that's what we are pushing. But it's a very slippery road, very thorny and slippery. If you are not careful, you slip and fall, and you be by very bad. So we look at it and we try to move on. On this note, I think that this nation has lost great people. 8 people perishing on last week. It's not a good news for us. Let's try as much as possible to make sure that we do things right. I like the fact that we should all, at this point in time, reflect and become the Ghanaians we are. By this, I want to also extend my morning greetings to the people of Sisala East. I'm sure the team is there trying to support them, understand our road nature. But let's all, as a people, come together, support, make sure that we bring development to the people. You do it for legacy's sake. It's not for immediate gratifications. That's not what we are doing. We are trying to make sure that, like my brother or Uncle Capito has been saying, let's do it for legacy's sake. Let's not imbibe quickly on what immediate gains, but looking at things that will be able to change the minds of our young ones to make sure that this country becomes great again. We have what it takes to become a great country. Let's live up to that. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
All right. And that's it for the AM News. It's been wonderful having all of you here, and I think Mr. Capito came in with a lot of fire.
Fire, yeah.
In history.
Yeah.
History. I like the history.
We need to have him there.
He looked at our ages and he's bullying us.
I don't want a Ghanaian to go and stand under the tree or in the rain at any embassy and to be disrespected just because they need a visa to travel. Because if Ghana is good, if my father's generation, they went and they came back. Even when I was growing up, there was free entry because we belong to the Commonwealth. Okay, so you get to Heathrow, they give you a visa and you enter. Now they are charging us big monies, and you parliamentarians, you should pass the law that diplomacy is reciprocal. If they charge us 1,000, we should charge them 1,000 and stop giving them favors.
So that is Mr. Kofi Capito. He's the CEO, Consumer Protection Agency. And Mr. Mohammed Bataglia is the Member of Parliament for Sisala East. They join us for this conversation. Stay with us. We'll take a break. When we return, we get into our big stories on the AM show. We'll be right back.